I'm Josephine Corcoran, holistic career coach and astrologer. And this is my weekly Astrology for Business live, where I'm talking about the weather for the week commencing the 15th of February. And what a week we have ahead of us. It's a really big week with lots of opportunity, and most particularly opportunity for change, for breakthrough, for really aligning with what's authentic for you, and for really connecting in with where you're potentially holding yourself back, or you're feeling like you're held back and restricted, but being much more clear about where it is that you're headed to. So I wanted to just start off this week by firstly letting you know that if you are not already signed up to my newsletter, each week I send out information with the timings of when the major shifts are going to be happening during the week. And I give you quite a comprehensive rundown of the impact, or if you like, an interpretation of what the planetary placements are going to mean for the week ahead. So if you haven't signed up, I encourage you to do that either through my website, where you can sign up for the newsletter, or if you're watching this live on Facebook, just hit the sign me up button if you're not already on my newsletter list. All right, so I did this week, yes. So just as a starting point, we have got this year a major transit that's going to take place 3 times. And for most of you who are watching, I'm presuming you have some base astrological knowledge. And if you're joining me for the first time and interested in learning about how you can use astrology to inform the way in which you go about doing business, to support you by engaging with nature's cycles to help you achieve your goals, then I'll just give you a quick rundown of what's happening this week and what will be the first of 3 passes for the year ahead. So essentially, we've got 2 key planets that are going to be engaging in what's known as a square, which a square angle is where there's a 90 degrees angle in astrology between the 2 planets. And the 2 planets that are involved are Saturn, which is the ring planet, and it's all about responsibility and leadership and putting solid foundations in place. And Saturn's currently, and it's going to be there for the next 2.5 years, Saturn's in Aquarius. So Saturn's really inviting us to put new structures and new foundations down, in particular around social and sustainability issues, putting new structures down around how we innovate and collaborate with others, and really putting new structures down and in terms of connecting in with our own unique sense of self. In other words, connecting in with our innate abilities and what's authentic for us, and looking at how can we operate from a career perspective and business perspective in a way that's really allowing us to fully celebrate our strengths and to operate in a way, in a time frame and in environments that nurture and nourish us. So that's what's happening on the one hand. That's Saturn's traveling through Aquarius. And then what we've got Uranus, which is completely different energy. Uranus is the planet which is much more explosive. It's much more about this concept of innovation. It can be associated with tectonic plate shifts and movement. It's like this concept of almost rebellion and just needing to break free. And so Uranus is currently traveling, it's a very slow moving planet, and it's moving through Taurus. Now, Taurus is an earth sign, and it's a fixed earth sign. And so it's very focused on the issues of food, housing to a degree in terms of where we live, in terms of the resources we have available to be able to purchase things that matter to us, that give us that afford us a comfortable life, but also this concept of money or currency and food. So with Uranus going through Taurus, we are going to be, over the next few years in particular, but this year, we're starting to see some real shake-up going on globally, which started last year because Uranus was already in Taurus, around those key issues or hot issues of the economy, food, and basic essential means to be able to live. And so with these two planets, Uranus and Saturn, making what's known as a square, there's like this tension that's being created, and we experience that tension inside of ourselves, that there's this calling and this drive to take action. And so we have these two parts of ourselves. If we look at it from an individual perspective, there's these two parts of us that we're, on the one hand, we're yearning for freedom, we're yearning to create a new future, we're yearning to find ways to operate that are aligned with what's ideal for us. But on the other hand, we still feel as if there's structures and systems in place that are holding us back. And so the key is, how do we use these two forces to create something brand new? How do we work with the tension to align with what's for our highest good? And so that tension is going to be experienced. It's going to be meeting up exactly. The time on Thursday that's happening is on February the 18th. That's this Thursday. It's happening at 6:07 a.m. in Australia, and if you're watching this from the US or other parts of the world, it's going to be happening later in the evening on Wednesday the 17th. So really notice what goes on for you this week. What are the sort of major themes in your life that are up for review and change and shift? Because it will be coming up again on in June. June the 14th is the next time these two planets will meet this way. And then again at the end of the year, December the 24th, they'll meet for the third time. So I feel like this is a really exciting time. It's an opportunity for us to let go of old ways of being and to fully embrace and create breakthrough in our professional lives and also in our personal lives, which in turn affects our professional lives. So this week's a big one. So take note of what's going on. Fantastic for inspiration, for ideas. I know a lot of my clients, people that I'm working with, are having a flurry of thoughts and insights and downloads of ways in which they can take their businesses forward. So make sure you're keeping a note of all of those ideas and things. And really starting to think about who it is you want to be collaborating with to start to take action. So very, very powerful week. Now, the other thing that's happening this week is that Mercury is doing in its final week of retrograde. The 3-week retrograde period will end on Sunday. So that's been giving us the opportunity to really reflect and revise and rethink and redo things that we started working on when the major conjunction happened back on the 22nd of December 2020. And it's also given us some really good clues as to the major Aquarian themes within our lives, because even if you're not an Aquarian sun sign, you will have Aquarius in your birth chart in some way, shape or form. You may have planets in Aquarius or you may not have planets in Aquarius, but it will certainly be having an influence on an aspect of your life. And if you'd like to find out more about your birth chart and how the different energetic forces that are at play out there in the heavens inform your personal and your professional life, then why not book an inquiry chat with me to discover how you can find out more about that? And there's different ways you can work with me to discover that. So yes, so there has certainly been an opportunity for revising, rethinking and redoing. So you've got another week to kind of keep reviewing things that have been underway for the last couple of weeks. And I just encourage you on Sunday in particular, when the retrograde period ends, in other words, when Mercury comes to a standstill before moving forward again, that's usually the time when the Mercury retrograde issues can take place. So be extra careful with your technology around water on that day. And yeah, there may be miscommunication or there may be delays as well on Sunday. So allow extra time for things to process and to get from A to B on Sunday. The other major thing that is going to be taking place at the towards the end of this week, actually on Thursday, the sun's going to be completing its journey through Aquarius and moving into Pisces. So happy birthday, beautiful Pisceans. I have a lot of Piscean friends. that are extraordinarily creative, sensitive, compassionate, and are really in tune with the sort of the ebb and the flow of emotions and just life itself. So when we have the sun moving into Pisces, it's going to bring a sort of slightly softer, more creative, more like we'll start, it can allow us to embrace concept like music, mindfulness, any kind of connection to, well, where we're allowing ourselves to slow right down and to imagine, move into that sort of creative, imaginative space. So you can look forward to the sun moving through Pisces for the next sort of 30 days, and you can really get in touch with your intuition as well. And if you're not meditating this year, or if you're not meditating at all, this is a lovely time with the sun moving into Pisces to start some lovely habits around meditation and starting to sort of connect in with the essence of the greater universal energy that we're all really a part of. Now, in terms of the moon and what's happening there this week, the moon's waxing, it's growing because we had the new moon taking place in Aquarius, which is a biggie last Friday. So this week does invite us to be taking action, to be starting to think, not just thinking about what it is we wanted to create, but actually putting down, once we've having put the goals down or the ideas of what it was we wanted to create, this week's powerful for taking steps. So today, the sun moved into Aries early in the morning, and Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. It's a cardinal fire sign, and so whenever we have fire, we have passion, we have drive, and Aries is really competitive and it wants to achieve things and it wants to make things happen. So you can use this force all day today, and all day Tuesday. And then on Wednesday morning, the sun is in Aries. So all day Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday morning, very powerful for getting stuff done, for taking action, which is wonderful. Then on Wednesday afternoon, the moon's going to move into Taurus at 2:11 p.m. These are all Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time, so you'll need to adjust to your own time clock. So Wednesday the 17th, the moon moves into Taurus. Always with the moon in Taurus, it's about taking things one step at a time, really sort of feeling your way through things and being quite precise about how you take slow, steady steps forward. But one of the things that I do want you to be aware of is that the moon's going to be going over where Uranus is in Taurus. And so this activation that I was talking about earlier, that at the start of this live, we're going to be really feeling emotion, a lot of emotion around this peak energy with this major Saturn-Uranian transit or square that's happening on Thursday. And with the moon going over it, we're going to be extra sensitive to it. But the thing is, we can use that sensitivity and we can use how that feels in our body to really figure out what is it that we need to do to break through and to do things differently. So the moon's in Taurus Wednesday afternoon, all day Thursday and then Friday. And then on Saturday, early in the morning, the moon shifts into Gemini. And so this will bring a bit more of a lighter feel. We'll be inspired to connect with others, to do research, to be looking at ways we can collaborate with others. Because Gemini is an air sign and it loves to have lots of things on the go at the same time, it does make for a really lovely social energy for the weekend. Yeah, so there's a lot of action to take this week. It's a really good week for progress. And just as a final closing, for those of you that are interested in when the void of course periods are, which is when the moon's not making connection to any other planets, the void of course moons also, you don't want to be starting anything new. So just get on with things that you've already started. So the moon's not void of course for the rest of today being Monday. It's not void of course on Tuesday. Wednesday the 17th, it will be void of course from 11:16 to 2:11 p.m. It's not void of course on Thursday On Friday evening, it will go void, of course, from 6:27 p.m. until the following Saturday morning at 3:03 a.m. So not going to be impacting us during the working week at all, and it's not void, of course, on Sunday. So it really is a power week ahead. That may be mixed up with some. You may find some anxiety, or you may feel sort of that. When I say anxiety, that kind of tension, but use that tension in a positive way to really sink into what it is that you want to create. And the big tip for this week is really be conscious of what it is you're absorbing. So it's all about choosing content and people that really inspire you, that help you see a new future. So when you're going through your feed, when you're looking at the news, when you're choosing to catch up with others, make sure it's all quality and make sure that it's supportive for you, staying the course that you can see is the course for you. Because if you find yourself getting really deeply immersed in a lot of the news that's going to be taking place this week, that can bring up some fear and a little bit more anxiety. So go gently, be incredibly productive. It's a power week for connecting in with your purpose. Sending you so much love, and I look forward to seeing you again next Monday. Take care. Bye for now.